All right, thank you very much. Can everybody be settled? All right, we have space here, ne? Yeah. We have space in front, so if you are seated behind the cameras, if you don't mind coming in front, please do so. We promise we'll take good pictures of you. Nale, this one is. All right, welcome everyone. It's been a long 2 days full of ups, downs, and challenges, emotions, tears, laughter, joy, all emotions that you, and stress, all the emotions that you can possibly can. But those are things we need, because that simply says we are human beings and we are entrepreneurs. So as an entrepreneur, if you don't go through all these emotions in one day, then there's something definitely right you are doing in your life. You can probably borrow us those ingredients. Welcome everyone to the last day. Today it's just going to be lightning speed. You'll be surprised at 1 a.m. when we hopefully finish the program with the MEC as to wow, it simply moves. It moved like it was 5 minutes. So today, please work with us, because there's going to be a lot of moving and logistics happening. So time is of important essence, and without wasting any much of the time for today's program, I'm going to call on stage once more the CEO of the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller to officially open the program. Then once that is done, we take over and we move the day in a speedy manner. Thank you very much. Can we please give a round of applause?
Sanbanan, you all look very tired today. What happened? I thought everybody was, you did practical training and then you got a chance to relax. What happened? We don't want to know. Especially what you did in the evening. It was hectic. Huh? Not really, just a little bit. Mara they would have a lot to say about what happened yesterday. I must acknowledge you because I had lots of interesting stories, colleagues. I think it's important that we treat these experiences. I remember we spoke about making sure that we don't waste time on things that are not important, especially when government makes available such opportunities. We cannot take it for granted and use the time for all the wrong things. And it's disappointing when such opportunities are presented and people just, don't really pay the attention that they need in these sessions. So for those ones, please, let's not mess up such good programs for people who are here because they want to learn. And we're going to be stricter going forward, because we cannot have people who are who continuously come just to disrupt those ones that are getting the opportunity for the first time. So Tabang and the team, please, can we just make sure that during the screening, we make sure that all SMEs in Gauteng and cooperatives get the opportunity. And those that are repeat must just understand there's nothing wrong with you guys being here, but they cannot expect that they're going to be here overnight, they're going to be pitching and so on, because the budget, as you may understand, is very limited. So we cannot afford to continuously entertain the same people. It really is not fair. We spoke at the beginning about the importance of managing emotions. And I think when Tabang is saying you would have experienced all sorts of emotions in the past 2 days, you now understand what we meant. To say at any given time, as an entrepreneur, you would have to learn to manage the emotions. But the fear, as we indicated, is very important, and the worry, because it forces you to prepare. If you are here today and you're not prepared, you know it's going to be difficult. You have a ramp today, you're going to be pitching, you're going to be showcasing your talent. So this is not the time where you go down and utsabe. This is the time where we really need to see the real you. So as we indicated, this pitching booster is meant to make sure that we intervene in the sector of clothing, textile, as well as furniture. and make sure that we help you expand your businesses. But over and above this, because government is looking at, there's a 30% set aside to work with SMEs in the townships. We also have brought some of the partners from the various departments, education, social development, and health. They will present some of the opportunities around furniture and how you can register on the various database. We have the provincial treasury, who's also here today, who's going to be helping people to comply with the CSD. So by the time you leave here, one of the things that we've committed to do is to make sure that we create that ongoing platform, because it's not going to stop today. There's ongoing learning that is going to continue, and we want to see tangible results come out of this exercise. At some point in the next 12 months, we want to bring in all the winners from all the other pitching sessions. Okay. In the next 12 months, we will be bringing you guys together, because we want to now check what has since happened after these interventions. Because I'm sure some of the things, as much as you are in furniture or clothing, some of the things were new, right? So there were things that you could take away from this exercise. And one of the decisions we've taken is that even if you don't work with wood, as long as you are in furniture, you will still showcase your stuff, you will still be shortlisted to pitch, and you will still stand a chance to walk away with 150,000 as part of the prize monies. Okay. So all of you will get a chance to pitch today and showcase your products, and we will get to announce who the winners are, the 25 winners are, who walks away with the money at the end. But we're hoping that even if you don't win a prize, you would have gained sufficient information and knowledge and insight that is going to help you take your business forward. So at this stage, I'd like to hand over to the Gauteng a young lady from the Gauteng Department of Education, very beautiful, who's going to be giving us a presentation on some of the products, especially around furniture and the opportunities that are there, and how you guys can participate in their supply chain, as well as market yourselves to be utilized by the Gauteng Department of Education. Thank you very much. Over to you. You're very short. I'll adjust this for you.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nonkudleko Mngomezulu from Gauteng Department of Education. The content of my presentation is to ensure the sustainability of the pitching booster. SMME's sector, the GDE will present the furniture items that are procured, and how the SMMEs and cooperatives can register on the database. And we're also going to present the furniture spend analysis and other requirements. And we're also going to present the issues raised by the service provider in the furniture sector. Can you assist me to make it bigger? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. The budgets for the furniture for the financial year 2017 and 18 financial year was 164.5 million. These are the items that we are procuring for the schools. The grade R chairs and tables, the lower primary chairs and tables, higher primary chairs and double tables, school chairs, school secondary tables, lab stools, chairs, cupboard steel, 2 doors, the office or staff room teachers' chairs without armrest, the staff room tables, teacher's desk, office desk, correspondence rack, the pigeonhole, the 30 division pigeonhole, the desks, the glass door, glazed door bookcase, filing cabinet, credenza, side chairs with arms, low back swivel chairs, and high-back swivel chair. Yeah. So those are the items that we procure. So we have contracts, contracted service providers that are supplying, but the contract has just expired, and the new tender was advertised. I hope you did participate, because currently they are evaluating that tender. Yeah. How the SMEs and cooperatives can register on the database. You see, in our department, we don't have a specific database. We use the central database, because what happens is that when we want the service providers to supply any other commodities, including furniture, we advertise it through tendering. We call it the pre-qualified list of service providers. We advertise, and then we pre-select those service providers. The ones that are winning are getting the contract for 3 years. And from there, we source quotations from those service providers. Now, in this case, for furniture, we had 60 service providers. So for the entire financial year, we kept on requesting quotations from them to supply. So we encourage the service providers to register on the central central supplier database that was introduced by the National Treasury in order to simplify the process of doing business with the state. So this CSD will help you will help with the supplier's information, because you remember you had to submit so many documents, the tax clearance certificate and everything, but once you registered on the central database, all your information is on the database. And then we encourage you to participate in tendering, because even if you are on the central database, when the tender is issued, you have to participate and also fill in those documents and submit on time. We advertise our tenders mainly on the tender bulletin. So you are encouraged to check each and every Friday the government bulletin, then where you will see the tenders that are available. Secondly, you can also go to the Treasury website and check for the tenders that are available. And another option is to go to Imbumba House, number 75, Fox Street at Treasury. There's a tendering office where they plug all the tenders that are available for the period. You also have to market yourselves to the departments and submit business cards to the procurement offices, because when the items are non-contracted, the buyers are requesting quotations from various service providers that are in the central supplier database. So at least you can go to those departments and indicate that you are in the database and introduce yourselves, give them the business cards, so that they consider you when requesting for quotations, because they just randomly select any service providers to request for quotation. So if you have introduced yourself and provided the business card, at least your chances of being requested quotation and to win are bigger. Okay, this is the furniture spend analysis. As I have indicated earlier, that the budget for the furniture was 164.5 million. These are the service providers out of the 60 in the database space that were given. You can see they were given huge amounts. And the purchase orders that were generated were 95.3, but the payments that were effected were 94 million. This 94 million is caused by the partial deliveries. Then at the same time, we had challenges with the 4 service providers that could not deliver. And they were given the purchase orders to the value of 6.2 million, but unfortunately they could not deliver. Then the procurement preferential spend up to February 2018. This indicates all the procurement that we have done, including all the items, the furniture, school nutrition, you know, everything that we required. It's just to show you that at least we are trying to meet the targets that are set for us to achieve. Like for instance, under the triple BEE contribution, we are at 93.38%. Female spend, we are at 18.96%. And the youth spend, we are at 13.10%. And you'll realize that under the youth spend, the month of June, we have exceeded the set target of 15% because we were at 29% because it's youth month. So we always encourage the youth during youth month to engage and to participate in tendering and doing the business with us. Then with the service providers, the PWDs, people with disabilities, unfortunately we are not reaching that target. We still have to work on it, on achieving that target. The issues raised by the service providers, the lack of funding and criteria for funding. When they approach various funders, they said that the criteria is not reachable. So we recommend that the funders to reduce or to lax the requirements of funding so as to be able to cater even the smallest service provider, because we don't want to leave anyone behind. The SMM is competing with well-established companies. That is a problem because the other companies are well-established, but still they do tendering for projects. And I mean, it's their right to do so. Like for instance, with the furniture, there are manufacturers, there are distributors, and the middlemen. So what happens is these small companies, they approach the manufacturers to say, okay, if I win the tender, you will be supplying me with this. And they request for quotation. The manufacturer will give a price, let's say maybe 800 rands. They will give them 800 rands, but that very same manufacturer will also bid for 800 rands. Obviously, the small company will have to have the markup, so they will be expensive than the manufacturer. The manufacturer will always win. So we are trying the means of making sure that everybody wins. Like, for instance, with the new tender, we've tried to categorize the items so that we don't just give it to the big gurus only. We categorize to say this category, these people should apply, and these people should apply. At least maybe it will make it better. And at least with the introduction of this new procurement preferential regulations of 2017, which came into effect on the 1st April 2017, we are trying to designate some other commodities that can be procured by the service provider, the small companies and designated groups, maybe youth or these PWD companies, local suppliers owned by at least 51% black companies. Yeah, so that act, that regulation is having the list of all those. And then the tender requirements that are non-achievable. Suppliers are complaining that they don't win because of the requirements. So what we have decided to do is to check our terms of reference to make sure that they are simplified so that they can be understood even by the smallest company that is new in the market, because we don't want to leave them outside. Then working capital to service contract, we also appeal to JEP to fund those contractors, especially those who have received the contract. Sometimes they do not have the capital to buy their stock in order to deliver. So we hope JEP, and we know that JEP is assisting with that. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to open an opportunity for 3 or 4 questions. 4. 4 is okay. All right. Okay, so we'll open space for 4 questions, if there's any. So I'm noting hands. So it's 1, 2, 3. Any last taker? Ladies? Ladies, going once, twice. 4. All right. 30 seconds. Ne?
Sawanama, how are you? I just want to ask, those tenders that you are showing us there, they're already like in a process? Yes. Okay, meaning we cannot bid?
Yes, because the tender closed. They are currently evaluating the tender. That is why I was saying I hope and wish that you did participate.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, we'll do this. They will ask the 3 questions, then we'll give you an opportunity to respond well to them. Yeah. Number 2.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
I want to ask just one question. Like when you tender with people, there is a report that you check if they submitted or serviced you accordingly. Do you have a process for that so that we should know others have dishonored, so to speak, or didn't succeed in giving the tender or the service, I mean?
Question number 3.
Good morning, everyone. I understand that you have presented on the furniture, but what are the opportunities that you are presenting on the clothing and manufacturing sector?
Good day, everyone. I've got 2 questions for the lady. The first question is based on the people that you have selected. I just wanted to find out with local schools, do they also have the opportunity to procure from their own budget? And I also wanted to find out, the second question was based on, in terms of the school furniture. If you look around, especially township schools, you find out that you buy furniture, then they get broken, and the steel structure are always thrown behind the classes and new furniture comes. So in terms of repair and maintenance, what opportunities can one raise? Because that's what I'm interested in terms of repair of school furniture, crescendas, drawers, and other furnitures that are already in schools that are not in good conditions.
Hello. Okay, I will start with the first question regarding the report on the defaulters, if I understood it well. First of all, when doing the tendering, there's a panel of the bid committee that is evaluating the tenders. So if you did not win, you have a right to ask and say, how did I fail? Then that will make you grow and you'll understand the other requirements that you did not meet. Secondly, there is a team of people at contract management that are managing the contract to check the defaulters. Because once the end user complains that the service delivery was not okay, the contract management will engage with the end user and the service provider, and they will iron out the issues. But if still the service provider is not compliant, he will be given the chance to remedy the situation. But if all it fails, then unfortunately the contract will be terminated, but after taking necessary steps to ensure that you comply. Yeah. In terms of the budget and the township schools, we only have one budget, and that budget is used to buy for all the schools. Now, there are Section 21 schools that are procuring for themselves, but the other schools, the ordinary schools, they are procured by the department, the head office. There's a central procurement unit that is procuring from them. As I have also indicated that we have contract, so we do the call-offs from that contract to supply the needs of those schools. And then when coming to repairs, yes, the school furniture sometimes needs to be repaired. It's something that we're still going to look at to say how best can we repair the furniture. Because I remember our asset management was still in discussion to say maybe how best can we do that. Either we do the tender especially for repairs, or we channel it in the other way. So that is still under discussion. Oh, sorry, the clothing and textile. Unfortunately, at education, we don't do the clothing and textile. We don't buy that.
Thank you very much. Can we please give a round of applause once more? All right. Okay, we can switch this off. Hey. All right. People look a bit sleepy. What's happening? Or they are focused, or their hearts are now moving, because we are going to the most pivotal and critical stage of eliminations. All right. Okay. Just to bring the energy in the room and have the program go on a higher note, can everybody stood up? Yes, I must feel the ramp before. Just check. Okay. All right. It's good, it's good, it's good. Okay. We can stretch ourselves, ne? All right. Can everybody see me? You can? All right. Okay. We are going to celebrate the past 2 days. So you are going to help me celebrate the past 2 days. Then once we have the energy back into the room, we then start to reshift the hearts. We put them here, and we put pressure, and we take you through the process, and we introduce our judges. And when you see the judges, they are nicely dressed, and you see they are from textile and clothing, and you're like, oh no, shit is about to get down. Then we introduce the furniture guys, and you see, this one, oh, he's the one that supplied this. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be messy. It's about to be fun. But because we are young people who are competitive and confident, you'll leave the judges in our way. In our way. Aware. Are you ready? Okay, now the energy is coming back. You see? Yeah. Late night, preparing your pitches, ne? Okay, and engaging on an academic drink. We saw you. All right. So this is how it goes, ne? It's a she. She. She, not he. She. Okay. So she took the ball. Ne? She looked at it. She put it there. She pepeta. So to pepeta is to celebrate. So she took the ball. She looked at it. She put it there. She pepeta. Simple, ne? You do it after me. So if I give high energy, you give a high energy response, ne? But most of the time, for the first time, it never goes well. But as it goes, we get it. So are we ready? Yeah. All right. Camera 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Today we have also additional cameras from the office of the Premier. But I'll introduce them after we are done pipetting. All right. Are we ready? All right. Okay. Let's see. She took the ball. No, I do miss all my hump. This is a V12 engine, It's a Range Rover Luma SVR, ne? So when it starts, it's pop, 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 pop. No? It's not a Toyota Yaris, ne? All right. Ready? How's way? All right. Ready position? Ready? Okay. She took the ball. She looked at it. She put it there. She pepeta. She pepeta. She took the ball. She looked at it. She put it there. She pepeta. She pepeta. She took the ball. She looked at it. She put it there. She pepeta. She took the ball. She look at it. She puts it there. She better. She better. Thank you. You can take a seat. Now you are happy. All right. Oh, now you want results. All right. Back to Sarah's business now. We are starting with our work. All right. I'm going to introduce judges from the fashion and textile. Then also introduce judges from the furniture side. Once that is done, we will then divide ourselves into our respective commissions. We will only give you 25 minutes to do two things. One, to check out. Two, to begin preparing your pitch. But for the colleagues in the furniture, in the textile and clothing space, you will go out, get your stuff, then only know once you are seated the top 20 people that are going to be part of pitching. Then, yes. Okay. So that's how it's going to happen. It's tough. So because the lady from the department side spoke on the furniture side, and one of the colleagues jumped the gun and asked opportunities in the clothing space. We do a holistical approach, my brother. So we have the Department of Health who will engage on opportunities on your sector. Yes, yeah. So we are fair. We balance, ne? Yes. Or you wanna give them a round of applause? Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce the judges. They will come on stage. They will briefly, in a minute or so, tell you what they do. No? We don't want you to feel we're bringing just people we've seen on the streets, They will tell you what they do so that they put pressure. Because I know the heart is somewhere here. Now we are repositioning it here. So that when we announce the top 20 finalists, if you are about to faint, we give you that opportunity to do so. Yeah, no. If you are meant to faint, you are meant to faint. We cannot fight that. Okay, so I'm going to call the judges. They will come on stage. Then they will have an opportunity to, in a minute or so, tell you the space they are in and the work that they do. All right. So from the furniture side, we've got Mr. Saja Mirai. Oh, sorry. Ooh, biggest mistake from the clothing and textile side. Yes, we've got Mr. Saja Mirai. He's coming on stage. You see?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Okay. The one, I think you do one more time. One more time.
One more time. Okay, you can go. You understand with me? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, everybody stood up. Ladies behave. Yeah? Only look at me, not here. All right, are you ready? Okay, on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. She took the ball. She look at it. She put it there. She better. She better.
Good morning, guys. My name is Sagar Mirai, and I'm an entrepreneur who just happened to have flair for fashion. The journey is over 20 odd years. Started off in a flea market selling socks to a point where I have my own clothing line. The key attributes to any fashion or any business, it's passion. And that is what I want you to realize as well. Have a clear vision and fill it with passion. You cannot go wrong. That's it. Thank you.
The second one, we've got Sean the stylist.
Sanbona. Ninjan. Hey, this mic. It's too powerful. Like the young entrepreneurs in this house. Normally, I don't introduce myself, but I allow the work I do to introduce me. I try to run away from cameras and documentation. That is why I produce the work I do and keep myself in the background most of the time. It's unfortunate in the faculty of work that you do, sometimes you'll be known. But my mandate, I don't want to be known. I want my work to be known. With that being said, I want your work to be known, not you. In that way, you are leaving a legacy. And if you're not brave enough to be copied, mind you, you're not strong enough to be a brand. I'm Sean Stylist.
All right. And the last one, we have Mr. Manja Mukwena.
Morning, guys. I'm a very shy kind of a person. What I would like to say is that I love you guys. I love you. You look energetic. I'm looking forward to meet you in future as the best designers in South Africa. My name is Mandla Mukwena. I'm a creative director of Mamuko Creations. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you will see it on our perfect wedding. Yeah, most of his work is seen on our perfect wedding. So once you see people in nice tailored suits and dresses, they are done by him. Then if it's not nice, it's not him. All right. So we move to abo babes be planka, abo babes we speaker in a grrrr, swing. And just says sugile kubo, yabon. Yeah, says kana kubo swing. Uzwa no mubambi sanga siqinile yabona. Abo go 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 go. Okay. All right. So we will start with Mr. Tsitso Mutsiri. You guys already know him, but he's going to come on stage. A lot of you went to his warehouse yesterday, showroom, ne? Yes, yes. Can you please give him a round of applause?
Dumelang kaofela. How are you guys? Okay, guys, my name is Tsitso Mutsiri. I'm from the Antiquarian, and I just want to tell the guys on my left-hand side and the deposit of you at the back there, it's not easy. Do it the kamikaze style, like I said yesterday. Head first, and good luck. God bless you.
The second judge, we have Mr. Silas Hlungwani.
Hi guys, how are you? Great, they've already said my name. My name is Silas Sanem Hlungwani. We own a finisher studio. It's based in Highgate, and I know when somebody thinks Highgate, they think Chinese stuff there. But visit our showroom, you'll see what we're about. You know, we want to bring Central in Highgate, and we're doing exactly that. So yeah, that's it about me.
If you still own brown leather couches from Jean and Richards, we are now fast forward. We have purple couches and with a touch of lime and yellow and okay. The last one, I'm not sure whether he decided to dress for the occasion, but he's mostly a man of I'm a king, ring. But he decided to wear a suit today, you know. So don't be confused. He's in that space, the other one, you know. But he decided to be part of both. Can we please have on stage Mr. Franz Sitedi?
Thank you. Morning, everyone. Decided to fit it with the guys in the furniture. I mean, in the design space. But like he said, my name is Franz Sitedi. Basically in the design, interior decorating, and primarily manufacturing of furniture. So we do customized furniture for household as well as business to business as well. So I look forward to getting personal with the guys that are in the furniture space to get to know you better. All right, good luck.
Personal. Personal. Can we please give all our judges a round of applause? All right. So as articulated colleagues, we have a colleague from the Department of Health who's going to do a lightning talk on opportunities they have within the clothing and textile space, and also within procurement for you guys as entrepreneurs, and how you can best plug in and be part of their database to begin to provide services for them. So can we please welcome on stage Mr. David Selby.
Good morning. Lucky I dressed up in a suit, eh? Okay, from the Department of Health point of view, we participate in national tenders that are put in place by the National Treasury, National Department of Health. We also participate in provincial treasury putting tenders in place that we participate in. All of those two are what we call transversal. It's where different departments procure the same item. So each department doesn't put in their own tender, it's put in on a provincial or a national. For example, bread. Bread is used by education, social development, as well as health. So it's a transversal tender. The tender that I'm going to talk about today, which really affects everybody, is what we call our linen tender. Our linen tender, we specifically focus on women cooperatives. Okay? So our linen tender, unfortunately, I'm giving you information after the fact. The reason is we've already advertised the tender for the linen. We are currently in the process of evaluating the linen tender. And the tender will be awarded to probably not just one linen woman cooperative, but a few, due to the size of the province, due to the size of our hospital, and due to the size and number of particular items that we are procuring. So as far as my information that I can share with you today is, please, at this stage, can I just see maybe by show of hands, did anybody respond to the linen tender? You didn't know about it. Okay, in government, all tenders are advertised in the government tender bulletin. So number two things that's critical, the information I can share with you today. Number one, make sure that your company is registered on what they call the Central Supplier Database at National Treasury. Your company needs to be registered there, and you need to get a supplier number. What happens in the Gauteng province, so once you're registered on the National Central Database, you can do business with any government department in South Africa. That's number one. Number two, in Gauteng, we work on what we call the SAP system. You have to have a supplier vendor number to operate on the supplier system, but you don't have to worry about that. Once you've registered on the national database, that information is automatically pulled through to the supplier database in Gauteng. So you don't register twice, you register once. So point number one, make sure you're registered on what we call the CSD, the Central Supplier Database. Number two, make sure that you are a subscriber to the tender bulletin. The tender bulletin is not only for Gauteng, it's a South African tender bulletin. So every single tender that is advertised by any government department is advertised in the government tender bulletin. So point number two that's critical for yourselves is please register and subscribe to the tender bulletin. Okay, so from there, you will notice what opportunities, what tenders are out there. But closer to home for the Department of Health, as I say, today we're talking to textiles and manufacturer, but I don't want to give you information not relevant to your particular sector. So what I'm giving you today is I'm saying to you, unfortunately, those that did not respond to the linen tender, you are too late. The tender closed, and we're currently in the evaluation process, but the good news is whoever gets awarded that tender will be a woman cooperative or a number of women cooperatives. Other areas that we're looking at, which as I say is not applicable to yourselves, is things like fresh vegetables that we're also going to be awarding to small micro economic enterprises. We've got bread. Bread will also be awarded, to small emerging companies. Unfortunately, in the Department of Health, a majority of our big spend is not even spent in South Africa. If you can take medical equipment, an X-ray machine, an MRI, I'm talking 20, 25 million rand. We don't even have local companies for those particular items. Those items we source globally. But where we can and where we want to assist, that is the areas that I've outlaid currently at the moment. Okay. If there's any questions, I'm hoping the information that I've provided you so far is going to assist you so that you're able to participate in further tenders. If there's any questions, thank you very much.
All right, 3 questions. 1, 2, going once, twice, gone.
Good day, sir. Just a simple question. How does one subscribe to the tender bulletin?
Good morning, sir. I just want to know, when you find a hospital probably in Pretoria or Tshwane and you speak to the matron, they say, we'd like you to do golf shirts for us, print them with the logo or anything like that. Is that something that is legal? Because I remember I once did that, and then a few months later, all the people that bought the golfers had to be taken back because they were not from the head office or anything like that. So can you please just tell me if you know? Yeah, thank you.
If you log on to, for first question, if you log on to the National Treasury website, you will get all the information relating to subscribing to the tender bulletin. So just go in www.treasury.gov.za and you'll get all the information with regard to that. According to the second question, we have what we call threshold values in supply chain management. One of the threshold values is any amount above 500,000 Rand. Anything above 500,000, we go on what we call a formal tender process. So that is where you subscribe to the tender bulletin. Any purchase above 500,000, we are compelled to advertise it in the tender bulletin, follow the tender process, and then award. So your question, I'm presuming, relates to something under 500,000. If it's under 500,000, we follow what we call an informal tender process, which is a 3 quotation process. If I want to buy golf shirts, let me use your example. If I want to buy golf shirts, I would phone a minimum. They talk about a minimum of 3. But the reason why do we get quotations, people don't understand the concept about why do we get quotations. Let's just take it an example to our personal life. If I'm buying a TV, we don't just walk into the first shop and buy the TV. We want to get the TV at the lowest possible cost, am I right? The same as government. Government derives their funding from where? From taxpayers. So we need to work with the money that we've allocated. So that's why we say anything under 500,000, you approach as many service providers as possible. Okay? So as long as the supply chain officials, and it worries me when you're talking about matrons and these type of things, everybody is an expert in their particular field. If I'm a clinician, I'm an expert in performing a certain operation. If you're a finance person, you're an expert in paying a particular supplier. So let's stick to the jobs that we specialize in. So to answer your question, it worries me when a matron is talking about dealing with a supplier, because a matron should not be doing that. It's currently at the moment what you're telling me is the matron left a patient and has gone to do some admin work that should be provided by somebody else. So that worries me. So please make sure that you're only dealing with supply chain officials. Yes, I understand the matron is going to compile the specification because the matron knows what they want. But the person like myself, I'm talking to you today. We're not bringing in a matron to talk to you about supply chain processes. Okay, because it does. What happens is suppliers, and as you say, who suffers at the end of the day? It's the supplier. Because if the process wasn't followed, we're going to say to you, I'm sorry, we cannot accept the goods and services, we cannot pay you because the proper processes were not followed. So leave it to the experts, and in this instance, it's supply chain management. Okay. So as I say, under 500,000, we follow a minimum 3 quotation process. I hope I've answered you. I hope I've covered you. There was 2 questions.
Can we please give Mr. Selby a round of applause? All right, colleagues, now that we are out from the formal proceedings of the day, we are now going to the competition part. Then after that, we'll then have the MEC join us after lunch as we prepare for prize giving. So let's go straight to it. Zwen, dim the lights. Drum roll. All right. Okay, so this is how the process is going to unfold. On the furniture side, all of you guys are finalists today. So when we move out of here, we are going to give you 25 minutes to check out, start preparing your elevator pitch. You will go on stage with that product of yours that was done yesterday, and if you have another prototype, you can carry it with as part of your presentation. That's the furniture side. Then textile, you will go check out and immediately come this side. I will bring in a box with 20 garments that have made it to the next round. All right. Now let's get to the other part. I'm going to take you through the judging process for your preparation as per the 2 commissions we had on Monday. So it's the same as your 1-minute pitches. Introduction of your company and product. What problem is your business or product attempting to solve? Is there a market for your business? The product you are selling, is there a market for it? Do you know the market size and the value of the market of the product you are selling? Number 4, what is your funding requirement? And the last one that you will be judged upon is how are you going to use the prize money? So as said before, we do not care how you twang in the Queen's language. The focus is more centered around the passion, the product, and you as a brand. So you have an opportunity to tell your story. So don't tell us you are Tabang, you grew up very hard in the dusty streets. We don't care about that. We are all previously disadvantaged by virtue of our skin color in SA. So we all have different experiences. But tell us your entrepreneur. Woo! Ausway! As Pugil is Yatur, HD, HD. Yes. Okay. So focus on your story as an entrepreneur, your journey. Then the times are as follows. You will have 3 minutes for your pitch and 2 minutes for a response from the judges or critique or questioning. If your pitch is 2 minutes, it means judges will have 3 minutes. Then most of the times, you'll find a colleague will receive 5 questions and the other will receive 2. The other might not get any questions. It does not mean your presentation was good or bad. It means there's nothing to say as long as you have presented. On the fashion, I'll start with fashion. Fashion and textile side, we have a spot for 10 winners. And each of the winners are each going to receive prize is worth 150,000 rands each. Yeah. But we will equally mention the terms and conditions post-pitching. From the furniture side, which is the most critical industry in SA. Well, both are critical, which is why we both have the sectors here today. But from the furniture side, we are going to have 15 winners, each receiving 150,000 rands. So by the end of today, I am going to depart with 3.75 million rands, giving it away to 25 entrepreneurs through the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. So government is indeed at play and at the work, eh? So colleagues, my time is 51 minutes past 10. Can we please be all seated in our respective commissions at 15 minutes past 11? All the best and good luck. When you come back, if you are furniture, you are that side. If you are textile, you are this side. I'm going to have a briefing with the judges now. So I'm coming that side, judges at the back.